for dummies, honey. Yes, yes. Welcome, honey, welcome. So, you have reached this video. You are looking how to maintain a Phalaenopsis orchid, honey. You trying to see what is the tea without having to go through all of those commercials? Honey, well, let me keep it up with you, honey. Let me tell you. I'm going to tell you the top 10 ways. The top 10 ways that I set back my orchids in 2018. Stay tuned, Foul Pals. Okay, Foul Pals. So, the 10th way that I set back my orchids in 2018 is going to be sunburn, honey. Sunburn. Now, if you guys are used to this, go check out my Foul Pal Rick L. Orchids. Listening to Rick L. or trying to imitate what he did because we are in a similar climate, which is going to be in the southern part of the United States. He leaves his orchids outside. However, I wasn't able to. But I was able to notice that this is sunburn. Not to get it mistaken, this is sunburn, but it's going to start off with a patch like this, okay? But it's eventually going to burn and damage this tissue to whereas this part of the leaf will not be able to store nutrients or photosynthesize. All right, so unlike Miss Orchid Girl, I'm going to actually tell you the tea that you need to know to be able to tell the difference. Now, this leaf right here, if you was able to see your Phalaenopsis with some kind of discoloration to this effect, I would want you to know that this isn't sunburn. This is actually going to be a nutrient deficiency, okay? All right, Foul Pals. So number 9 on the list is going to be the lighting in your home, Foul Pals. The lighting in your home plays a very important part in how not to set back your orchids. So, if you're new to this channel, you know I always go to the highways and byways and fan out and get my Foul Pals to help me. So, with that being said, you might read along with me, read along out loud, if you will. But my Foul Pal, Inka Binka, honey, she told me, you have to shut those lights off at sunset. Seedlings are the only ones who can handle consistent bright light. Orchids can tell the difference between night and day. As the days get shorter, some orchids prepare for their winter rest, and some begin to grow spikes. Orchids naturally produce nitrogen at night when their photosystems are dormant. If you keep the light on 24/7, they are unable to go through that stage, which can result in a serious nitrogen deficiency. It will confuse them as well. Not being able to tell if it's night or day will result in exhaustion. And forget about seeing any flowers ever. So all that hard work you've put into your green babies will just go to waste. Just follow Mother Nature's lead. Turn those lights on in the morning to provide extra sunshine. And shut them off as soon as the sun goes down so your babies can rest. Good luck. So, thank you so much, Foul Pal Inka. And guys, if you have any incredible information, you may leave it in the comment box below, honey. Post a video if it's on the same topic. I wish you all well, honey. So, stay tuned, Foul Pals. Okay, Foul Pals. So, number 8, and also one of the easiest way to not set back your orchids is going to be paying attention to them. Looking at their growth pattern. Giving them a checkup at least once a week, Foul Pals. At least once a week. And what you want to do is, you want to look at the roots. You want to see if you see any new root growth or any new leaves growing. You want to check between the leaves to make sure that you don't see any pests. You want to make sure you're not seeing any crown rot. Number 7 thing that you could do to set back your orchids, well, guys, that's going to be either overwatering it or underwatering it. Now, in the previous case, my last Phalaenopsis Snow, she was suffocated. Her roots were suffocated, okay, Foul Pals? Look. Her roots have been suffocated because it was in the moss, compacted, and not enough ventilation in it. On the other hand, you can have a Phalaenopsis that you do not water enough. Listen. Now, they say you should let your Phalaenopsis dry out every now and then, and I agree. However, do not let it go any more than 4 days being completely bone dry. If you stay tuned, I will show you what the repercussions would be, okay? One thing would be when the media is too dry, all of the fertilizer that you have put inside of your Phalaenopsis pot is going to become acidic. It's going to be very acidic, and it's going to burn your roots, and your roots are going to become black, Phal Pals. You don't believe me? Look. Black roots, honey. Fertilization, honey. Too much of it. Salt builds up. That's why they say you should flush your pot at least once a month, guys. And never use the full dose recommended on the package. Always use weekly, meaning that you're going to use such a low dose weekly. Okay, Phal Pals? Stay tuned. When you leave your orchid dry for too long, you leave that media dry for too long. And what's going to happen is, like I said, it becomes very acidic. So the purpose of the Phalaenopsis leaf is to absorb the nutrients. It's going to store those nutrients. This is a vital organ for the Phalaenopsis. So when you have it lost 2 leaves because I let it dry out way too much. And you see the different coloration of the leaf. This let you know that this is a magnesium deficiency. What happens is when you leave your Phalaenopsis dry for too long, it's not going to retain the ingredients or the nutrients that you're putting into it. So I could put some seaweed extract into my to fertilize my plant. I could put some cow magic into my water to fertilize my orchids. But the pH level is not going to be correct, and it's not going to absorb. It's going to need that hydrogen, honey, to absorb those nutrients. All right, Phal Pals, stay tuned, honey. Stay tuned, because she knows what she's talking about. So, this is number 6 on the list. This not even number 1, honey. This number 6, and this is how Miss Orchid Girl lost her entire collection of orchids, honey. She said she had over 6,000 orchids, and she lost them all because she did not know. I was not here. Orchids for Dummies was not here at the time to tell her, girl, don't put all them plants together like that. You don't do that. So, with that being said, honey, number 6 on the list is you do not want to have your orchids too close together. You want to make sure that you have at least this much room. Yes, God, that's what you want, honey. Get your life. You want a good air vent going. You see it? It's just moving and moving and moving and moving. And guys, if you don't have a ceiling fan, go get you a box fan. It's okay. It's nobody's business. Miss Orchid Girl, honey, she had box fans. Okay? Before y'all start sending her coins, she had box fans too, honey. So it's okay. Another reason you want to have good air circulation in your home is because after you water your plants, you might have some water sitting on top of the plant. You might have water sitting on top of the leaves, in the leaves. If you have good circulation going on, that's going to prevent all of that because it's going to dry up. That's why we water our orchids early in the morning. Okay, Phal Pals? I repeat, you do not want to have your Phalaenopsis orchid or your orchids in general sitting right up under a vent because it's going to dry them out. Okay, Phal Pals? Or it's going to cause them to get just very, very sick. Do not do that. I learned the hard way. Hey, Phal Pals, we are halfway done, honey. Number 5, the 5th thing that I did to set back my orchids, honey, was all of this right here, honey. You cannot do this when you have orchids. You cannot do this. Well, let me say is how you do it, okay? It's not, I haven't seen a channel where they said, honey, you can't do this, honey. Last time I checked, honey, Miss Orchid Girl was spraying hairspray on her orchids trying to get rid of them millibugs them spider mites, honey, when everybody tried to tell her, girl, stop putting all them plants together. You've abandoned love don't live here anymore. Yes, honey. So, Fab Pals, the fourth thing on the list of how to set back an orchid is going to be crown rot, baby. Yes, honey. So this is my basil Kiki phalaenopsis, honey. Yes, honey. Go check the link below, honey, and see the journey that she has been through, honey. So what have you is, you might not be able to tell, but experienced growers are able to tell that that black substance in the middle is going to be crown rot. Now, there are ways to treat it. However, this plant has been like this for so long that it is now affecting the mother plant. You see how it's bright green in the crown of this phalaenopsis? That is how it should be in every phalaenopsis. So just because you have that dark spot in the last phalaenopsis, that is crown rot. Another example, see it's bright green, even got a little color of purple down there. That is what you're looking for. So anything contrary to this is going to be crown rot, which is a fungal and bacterial infection, foul pal. The third leading cause of setback orchids is going to be over-fertilization. Now, if you go back to my previous videos, you would see that this baby Snow suffered from over-fertilization. I was trying it, honey. I tried it. I said, I'm going to put a little more fertilizer in there. And immediately, I was able to see a difference. Now, look, guys, this is how you would be able to differentiate whether you have just regular root rot due to suffocation or potting issues, or if you did something intentional, such as over-fertilizing. It would not be black, it would be brown. That is the normal color of a rotten root. Is going to be brown. Now, when it's black or it has that white powder substance on it, that's going to be your salts, your salt residue. Now, remember, salts is going to constrict any water. That's what salt does. It sucks up the water. So this is what happened to this baby. But don't fret, honey. We're going to get her in some water culture and she will be A-okay. Stay tuned, Foul Pals. All right, Foul Pals. So the second leading cause of setback orchids is going to be root rot, honey. Yes, honey. Unfortunately, honey, this is root rot. This is what root rot looks like. Now, if these roots rot, remember that the primary goal of the roots of a phalaenopsis is to absorb water and nutrients. So now if she has lost most of her roots, that is obviously going to set her back because she isn't able to withhold as many nutrients as she should have. All right, Foul Pals, stay tuned. So the number one at the top of the list, something that I'm still struggling with today, something that I'm soliciting the prayer warriors for, is moving the orchids around. Please, honey, keep me lifted in prayer, honey, because you know I was going to bed with my baby Blue. This is just my baby. You might think, because if you have a pothos or a house plant, they tell you to turn it around so it will get fuller. Now, that is not the same case with phalaenopsis orchids. They do not like to be moved because they are very, very sensitive. Unless you're maintaining it, just making sure that everything is where it should be and growing properly, that is all that you need to do with these beautiful orchids, honey, because they like to be left alone, honey. They like to be left alone. But give them some love and care, honey, and that's all that they need. So I thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of Orchids for Dummies. Until